My name is Dan. This is my freedom story. Never really could quite get a hold of truth, never found the answers I was looking for. And I just always knew there's something deeper and there's something missing. And for me, I was very, very, very curious. And I think that's why I got into drugs and alcohol and I started using. That led me to confusion. And it's really one of the words that can characterize my whole old life was just confusion, because nothing added up, and that seeking and that longing for answers and truth, well, I never could find it. I really just ended up in slavery to just my whole sinful way of living. And it was, for me, it was in and out of jail and detoxes and homelessness and hospitals. I sort of just ended up at the Avenue Church, and I ended up in this halfway house that was connected to the Avenue Church, and it was amazing. It was amazing, but I found myself surrounded by people who saw the Bible for what it really is, God's Word. I started to experience some of those answers, and I started to find truth. And I also started to experience God's love through these people. Some of these people were people like John O'Brien, Casey Cleveland, Allison Good, now Hicks, Mitch Thompson, and many, 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 many more people. I started to experience God's love and God's truth. And I was starting to get some of that longing fulfilled and satisfied in ways I never really imagined or thought possible. And so it was going to groups like Redemption. There was a Q&A every Wednesday that we did at the community center that I went to faithfully, and it was there every week. I'd find new answers. I didn't even ask questions that much, but I would just hear answers to the questions in my heart. Things like, why did Jesus call himself the Son of Man? Why did Jesus speak to his disciples like that? Stuff like that. Just little things as we read and in the story in the Gospels or just in anywhere in the Bible, just questions about God. What is the Trinity? It was through those people, through that experience, that I met Jesus. I think there's a lot of longing I still have now for God's future promises, but it's this excitement that in God's Word and through the experience of His people and our community, I've been able to find answers, find truth, and find satisfaction in knowing that I have a relationship with God Himself. And it was being a part of a community where I had God's truth was there, through God's Word, and God's Spirit was there, and God's people were there, and God's love was there through that community. And so I just knew that something was happening. There was a reforming happening. There was I was being taught and shown a new truth, a new light. My eyes were opening. I saw that. And so as I continued, that just continued to grow. Little by little, that hopelessness slowly turned into hope. To share that with people now in ministry, like Recovery Church is something that I've been a part of. We're really just getting started, but Recovery Church is basically a platform and a place, and it's a church, but it's mainly focused on people who are drug addicts and alcoholics who are struggling and, or just drug addicts and alcoholics who need recovery. And so it offers a place in a community where people can get sober and learn how to live sober, but also find Jesus and also hope for recovery and find hope through Jesus Christ, even more importantly, and find a new life. And so to be a part of that, it's just amazing. And so I constantly need to rely on God, rely on His grace, on His forgiveness, on His guidance, His protection, His care, His healing. He's my refuge, He's my strength, He's what I look to for everything.